Okay, we'll carry on here then. So this person's now been captured. Something just beeps at me. I dread to think what that even means. Hold on. Let's see how this works. I assume you can still hear me. I assume this is still working. I don't know what the hell that was about. Anyway, let's carry on. Amazing. Amazing. God, I hope this has been captured. I don't know what that beep meant. I hope it means this wasn't recording, because I don't know if you can hear his tiny, tiny feet pattering everywhere. If I double click on him, it'll probably fix it. Let's have a look, see. Oh, wait, no, I clicked on the wrong thing. Are you cured? He's cured! I don't know what that was about. This game is full of little visual glitches like this. A lot of people tend to complain that this game is a diamond in the rough sort of thing, where like it's a good idea but it's marred by technical execution and yada yada. To be honest with you, I have found very few problems with the game. There's been a glitch every now and again with regard lots of visual glitches. And there were like big glitches, like certain items didn't work, but those were fixed. As for the actual like game-breaking bugs and things, I never really remember experiencing that many. I mean, when I was a kid, I guess you don't really notice or care. You take the product as is, and you're happy for it. You're entertained by anything, even if it's stupid and bad. But as I've gotten older, maybe because I loved it so much, I don't notice them so much. My criticisms of the game are actually more based on occasional shoddy design choices. I won't get into that just yet because I won't have anything to say when I get to those things later. Hey, people are still saluting. I suppose this is still the first mission. I don't know what I'm going to do with this space. I'll think of something. So that thing's being built, people are away, it's all coming up. I'm going to pull these guys out now because I want that heat to get lower before we kick off. Although I won't. I will leave 2 people behind to complete that, and I'll leave 4 people behind to complete that, and 3 to do that, and how many is that? Okay, I don't have enough. There's a good to fair chance people will fail these because workers suck and I've only put the minimum in. You actually probably want to put in more than the minimum. As a mission progresses, and there should normally be a timer, but again I have no information because I have nothing turned on, but I don't care. I will know how dangerous this mission is, how much notoriety and heat I will gain from it, and how long it's going to take, and there will be a timer ticking down through this whole thing. These things aren't going to take too long. And I will shut up when they complete. See, look, people take damage.
Hello, Delhi. This is Abdul's Eye in the Sky, reporting on traffic from the top of an elephant. From up here, I can see a tailback ahead caused by a sacred cow in the road. There is also a tailback behind me caused by stress by my elephant. Moving on to news from the subcontinent, the evil mastermind has struck again, despite the best efforts of Sable's colonial forces.
You get a recording like that.
Good morning. This is the Sahara event, covering current events across all of Northern Africa. Our big story is the shocking raid that took place earlier today. The identity of those responsible is still not known, but SMAC is reported to have several leads they are investigating. And now, the weather. The outlook for the Sahara is the same as usual. Drier than a dehydrated cream cracker on a Sunday.
This one's probably about to complete as well. I'm beginning to stalk, but each of them has a little thing like that. They're generic most of the time. Sometimes like unique missions and recruiting henchmen and stuff. There will be one for kidnapping. There will be one for just a generic mission with a flag. And each region has its own radio host. So you have like a, you know, Viva el Presidente sort of thing down here. You have, you know, this is the London Evening News up here and stuff. And they all say funny little things. I won't stop and listen to them every time, and I don't even know if you can hear them well, but they're very fun. I'm not like very funny like, or they're quality humour, but they're really nice. I love them. I can always tell. It loops, and then the music starts again. There's music for the world domination table, and whenever I hear the end of that music where it kind of gets a bit more dramatic, I know that I've been in that table for too long, and I'm certain if I close it, some shit will be going on in the main island that I've been distracted by staring at the base. But also, sometimes when you're stealing and things, agents will pop up. Agents will be represented by things like this with a red base, and it will have a picture of the agent rather than my minion on it. And I will know that whilst you're in an area when an agent is active, or God forbid a super agent, who are like James Bond and Rambo and stuff, it becomes a billion times more dangerous to do anything. And I want to set my minions to hiding. And if I don't do that, they will probably get massacred. And so sometimes I'm just minding my own business, and I'll suddenly see this little button flash up red with a number, and that means 3 people have died out in the world. Everyone just hambling about, nothing to do. She's being interrogated. Playing off everyone's universal love for nicotine in the 1960s, I suppose. The whole thing is... Oh, this is really quick. Picks them up, they die.
Pacific Radio. This is Pacific FM, and I'm Larry Driscoll, keeping you up to date with regional events from California all the way up to Alaska. The story on everyone's lips today is the big felony committed earlier. No one knows who's responsible yet, but everyone's got a theory. Isn't that right, Bill? Yeah. Even the penguins in Alaska got a theory, Larry. Penguins are from the South Pole, Bill. Damn it, Larry. Why do you always show me up on air?
So now we have a valet, and everything's been done. That was the interrogation. They just kind of do funny, goofy things like that for a bit, and then they die. I don't think he needs to be nearly so big as that. He's that big, and 2, and... Oh no, wait, yeah, okay. So, it's not the biggest... Oh, you know what, yeah, and I'll just extend that later, and I'll put more bunk beds in and things. That's what I'll do with that space. Sorry, I have my mouth up my mouth, I don't know if you hear that. I'm gonna turn that into an expansion of it. You know, ideally I'd use this space for 2 more, but honestly there's so little space in here anyway, I probably end up just building a dedicated locker room further in the base. They never access them, they're just there, you don't need them to be on hand. But yes, I'm going to make a staff room. Staff rooms don't need to be too big. I mean, they could stand to be bigger than this, but I don't give a shit. And then the mess hall also could stand to be bigger than this, but I'm making it as small as it can physically be for now. Now, there are 2 types here. There's counter and mixer. And the mixer, as you might see there, has a big mixer. And you can use that as an interrogation tool. In fact, in this mission, you can... He's not available yet, but the 4th guy you pick up for the mission where you collect the crime bosses, he refuses to submit to your will until you capture him and put him in the mixer. And I think that's to teach you that as opposed to the interrogation chair, there are multiple methods of interrogation that target different stats. So the interrogation chair targets health, and outside of interrogating people for the purposes of getting information out of them, I can't really think of a reason why you'd want to interrogate someone on something that damages health, because all you're doing is killing them slowly. And all that accomplishes... Aha, see, now we have actual agents. This is a... I don't know why it's got a capital O, that's a typo there. We have a saber, that's the shield there. Thief, and he's poor. There are 4 ratings. Pathetic, poor, good, and exceptional. So he's poor. This guy is a poor smash investigator. Am I right? Yep. Sometimes they have two names. Like sometimes they're thieves, sometimes they're burglars. I'm unclear if like I think burglar is another rank. Like a poor thief and a poor burglar. The burglar is a little bit better. So you see what happened there is he just broke in. But it's okay, he's wasting his time. That door is always going to get broken into. He's going to get through here. He's not going to find anything, and if he does, I'll kill him. Where was I? Yeah, so most of the interrogation systems in this game are going to target things like constitution, and it's not even called RPGs coming to my head there. Attention and smarts and things, and maybe even loyalty. But when those reach 0, the idea is that you have... So you see his thing's blue. I never got a chance to point it out earlier. That's because so far he's found nothing to suggest that this criminal organisation is criminal. Or this organisation, rather, is criminal. So he's having a look around, he sees nothing of interest, he will then turn around and go on his way. And he'll carry on looking into the base until his timer expires. You can waste his time when your social agents... I've only got one valet at the moment, I don't know where he is. But when your social agents target minions, they reduce one of these stats. Attention, smarts, loyalty. Usually it's attention and smarts. When those reach 0, the guy will need help, and at that point he becomes comatose and stupid and he's scratching his head, and he'll either be escorted off the premises, or if I order him to be captured, he will be passively and without resistance taken to a cell. I can then interrogate him. I would be encouraged to take him to a cell rather than letting him be led outside if he had any heat whatsoever, as he may now get. Another quality of investigators and things is their capacity to not really develop any heat from heat-giving objects. So this thing is giving off a small amount of heat because it's suspicious that a hotel organisation would have... You see, he's going to break in there now, so I'm going to send my guy over here with the preparation to kill him. It's suspicious, right? That you'd have this whole control bank system when you go to a hotel. He's going to... Yep, so he did the wrench twice. That means the door's about to open. Yep. He's going to spot it. He's going to go, woo! Give him 5 seconds. There he is. Woo! And now he's going to go and take a couple of gold and he'll have a little backpack on his back. Such as the time as he has that, I'm warned that he's burgling me. He tries to make his way. Nope. Game over. Anyway, he's going to die. No question about it. Anyway, point is, when you lower the endurance or whatever of a agent, they lose all heat they've discovered. They are bamboozled beyond recognition and remembrance. That's when I let them outside, because they're no longer a threat to me. And if usually that whole process will expend the entirety of their time on the island, and they will leave not remembering anything. So this mission, I assume, among other things, is designed to teach you that you can use random appliances around your base for torture, and it encourages you to find them out. Problem is, when this game first released, I now have the patched version, as demonstrated by the load save button I mentioned earlier. The mission statement that said, capture this guy and put him in the mixing bowl, did it sort of alludingly. There's a sketch in Mitchell and Webb, the comedy sketch duo, where an evil genius dressed like Blofeld is like, oh, it would be a shame if an accident were to befall so-and-so, and one of his minions rather bluntly says, so you want me to kill him? And he's like, well, yes, but I was trying to be all... And he goes, yeah, well, I'm a little bit sick of all this... There's my valet. I'm a little bit sick of all this, alluding and stuff. I mean, it's not very clear communication. The other month, you said you hope someone befalls an accident. We spent the whole month sitting around hoping. We didn't realise you wanted us to go and shoot him. What the fuck was the point of me bringing that up? I had a point when I started. Oh yeah, no, so the mission objective... Sorry about that. The mission objective says, oh, maybe you should mix him up a little. That doesn't fucking mean anything. No one had any clue that meant that he should be put in this mixing bowl. So they updated the mission objective, and now it says, put him in the fucking bowl, for Christ's sake. Also, you'll notice that although my evil genius is standing here, they're investigating me right now, and they don't tend to react unless they have high heat, or they are an exceptionally, you know, veteran investigator or soldier, they will not attack me. But if they are so inspired by the evil deeds they have uncovered on the island, they will shoot me on sight, and then I'm in trouble. I'm not really in trouble because I have 100 health, and it's really hard to hurt me, and I've just realised the character name thing here also has an error. But what can you do? Excuse me, my voice is going. So, that being the case, we now have a valet. One valet isn't good, and if he dies, that's it over. We no longer can train up any new valets, we have to start the whole bloody process over again. It's always my urge to build training rooms in such a way as you have to walk through them, because these training rooms are aesthetically based off from Russia with Love. The bit at the start where they're walking through the Smersh training camp, and the props are one-to-one the props in this training room, and they walk through it as part of a corridor, and as they walk through discussing, you see all the gun racks and training going on in the background. I'd love for that to be the case, but unfortunately these rooms are kind of sensitive, and as such having a corridor going through them is sometimes a bad idea, but you know what, fuck it, this is just for fun, I'm going to do that. So, gonna build this room. These things are kind of expensive, but we sort of need more. We sort of need more of these if we're going to actually get into the habit of beginning to now properly steal on the world map, because our cash reserves are getting sort of low. We are rapidly using up our gold, and now we're building more things. You know, you've got to spend money to make money, but there's a limit. And pretty soon we're going to hit the limit of our cash. We're also going to hit the limit of our power generation, at which point we'll have to build power generators, which are pretty pricey themselves. And that's not even beginning to take into consideration the power and cost concerned with setting up a security system, which we haven't even started. Oh, Americans. We have some Patriot, pathetic investigators, and we have an anvil. That's China. I never pointed that out. Yeah, we have China over here, communist China, which also includes they call it Polynesia, but you know, whatever you call that, the Malay Archipelago is technically what it's called. But yeah, Tibet, North China, Southeast Asia, and Polynesia. So that's Anvil, and that's this guy here. He's pathetic as well. And he looks like a Chinese investigator, and he's got the... I don't know what those words say. I really must translate them one day. But yeah, that's very clearly Communist China, and they talk about the party chairman in, like, you know, what's it called? Chop suey, you know, the party chairman! Respect the party! You know, this kind of accent. They talk in that, because it's a game, it's having fun at the stereotypes of the day. Now this guy's coming in. Retrieving goods. No, you're not. That was stupid. I'm going to capture him just for fun. Yep, there down he goes. He's going to get put away. I'm going to interrogate him and set him on his way. I don't really need to. Sorry, whenever I see them running I freak out a bit, because often when they're running it means that they're trying to get away because they found something. Sometimes they're running because they're just following, or they're rushing through a door. But it, you know, it triggers my, you know, my eye picks up on it and I want to deal with it. So, if I turn this room on, I bet you we're going to go into emergency power. Yep, so we've lost all power. We are now on... We don't even have backup power anymore, because I don't have any backup generators. But the consequence of this is none of these rooms work. These rooms continue to work, because they don't require any power. Doors don't work anymore, which is dangerous, but there's nothing really in this base yet to find. I suppose I ought to, yes, you see, so I'll build him there. I suppose, you know, I don't, this is a bit, I hate this ugliness. Don't need that, that's useless. But that could be useful. Probably want that. So I don't need that, which means I don't need that, which means the corridor should go that far. I find it's more useful to build small power generator rooms all over the place rather than one enormous corridor of diesel generators. Now, you never want objects to be inaccessible. However, because this is a 3x3 and those are 2x2, they can access it by this corner, even though it doesn't seem to aesthetically make any sense. The technicians will need to access this. And I will need technicians. Once I start building this power generator, I will need technicians. Because, more so than anything else... Oh, he's deserted me due to low loyalty. Do you know what? Fine, let him go. I'm not even going to waste time chasing him. But yeah, some people get low loyalty. Everyone's hanging out in this room now because, you know... Here's the thing. Mess halls actually also increase endurance. So these two rooms are sort of... You know, they do the same thing. But it's the aesthetic of it. Where's this dude? He's been captured. Oh, no, he's being let out. He might be let out. Sometimes they let each other out. Yep, you let each other out. That's fair. Okay, so now we're in trouble because these guys are... But he'll go deal with them, you know. Be a bit brutal early on because we don't really have a security system yet. So unfortunately, they're bumping into bad things and then they're having to be dealt with. This guy's returning to H2. He found nothing. He's useless. He walked all the way up here and then he ran out of time. He's shooting at him. He's dead. He's shooting at him. I'd rather kill him. These guys will also need to be killed momentarily. See, he's actually shooting at the... they start attacking objects. When they have high enough heat, they start attacking objects, and that means the wear is going to go down. And when the wear goes down, the thing gets blown up or damaged. And that's when you need technicians to repair it. And if you don't have a technician to repair it, then you can't repair anything. And that's bad enough with just generic objects, but it's terrible with things like power generators, because especially when you have... especially when you have a low power generation, the power generators are going to strain themselves attempting to provide the necessary juice, and they will begin to lose wear as a consequence of their hard efforts. Motherfucker, if you don't mark them to kill all of them, they tend to kill one of the group and don't reflect that the rest of the group is still there. That is how you train valets. Once we have that going, everything will be grand. Once that's built, everything will be grand. Yeah, so these guys generate power, plus 15 each. These guys store power, so that when the power goes out, you have temporary backup power, where everything continues to operate for a temporary period of time until it turns into this, where nothing's on. Generally, backup power is semi-useful. I've never used it that much, but it has been handy as sort of just like a thing you don't even have to think about. When you... Yep, so what was that? Something... The lights just briefly turned on. Oh, I know what it was. The corridor turned on, re-established itself, turned on, and then recognised that it was out of power and turned off. The game just operates in that order, it seems. So there's now a capacity option to steal the technician, steal a maid. If we lost the valet, it's not game over. We just have to re-steal her. And in fact, these give you like a tiny bit of heat, or maybe even like one notoriety. So if for some reason you felt obligated to, you could spam your way up the notoriety tree by just kidnapping maids over and over again. I don't know why you do that. That's absolutely stupid. Yeah, so these guys really made a mess of things here. But soon enough we'll have technicians and stuff, and we'll be away. So we need to build that corridor. Sorry, we need to build that power plant. That's probably going to use up what we've got left of our money. But hopefully that'll be enough to get this. In fact, you know what? I am going to temporarily build only one of these guys. It's just good practice to not get into the habit of filling up everything immediately, because it's cash flow. Right now, we're trying to get by on bare minimum in order to play. Everything that needs to happen from here on out is sort of dull. Basically, I will mark this guy to begin training up. How many are we at? Okay, 10. That works. That works for me. 10 valets is sort of what I'll be going for anyway. So now this thing... Oh yeah, so if I click this button, it shows me who's using it, which means that this guy has decided he's going to train up, and this guy is going to train him. They're going to make their way here, they're going to produce more valets. In the meantime, this guy will get built, and I'll get this whole operation back on. But to be honest, I think I'll skip recording that, because there's nothing much to say about it. Probably from here on out, I'll record whenever something interesting is about to happen. Yeah. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and be a complete tit in other ways. I don't know.